Lately, I was having a late-night conversation with a group of friends. It was a very open-minded discussion. Many topics came up that were interesting, but what really caught our attention was a topic where we were wondering why certain people get whatever they want. I know why it is like that. I know about manifestation, but they haven't had the opportunity yet. They'd heard about it here and there but had never used it to their advantage. But then something occurred to me, and it was as if, even though some people are unaware of manifestation, they still manage to get everything they desire. Upon self-reflection, the only thing that came to mind was self-concept. Their conceptions of themselves play a major role in getting what they want. Some people have unconsciously held beliefs about themselves in certain areas of their lives that allow them to achieve anything they desire. Now, when I further meditated upon this self-concept stuff, I realized that, before knowing about manifestation, I used to do something within me that really helped me in difficult times. It was a fun activity, and I somehow believed in it. This activity will really help you a lot, and I am sure that by the end of it, you will see how easy it is to bring about changes in our lives. Also, you will understand why doubts arise within you and how you can overcome them. It's been years since I've known about conscious manifesting, and have manifested some of my desires. Until now, it has not been as if I wake up every day and manifest everything consciously. I take physical actions for the little things, like buying coffee, chocolates, clothes, food, etc. Now, it does not mean manifesting these things is not worthwhile. I am telling you what I do. So, when it comes to something that I think is not within my reach due to my present identification, I then start applying the law consciously. But even though some days I don't consciously apply the law, whenever I become aware of the negative thinking, I change it at that particular moment. I am telling you all of this because, after so many years, I have recognized that a thing, a person, or whatever you desire that seems far away or impossible is only because of our identity or the self-concept. Our self-concepts generate a sense of knowing within us. This knowing develops the feeling of naturalness within us, and when we feel the state of wish fulfillment and it becomes natural within us, we get the physical outcome. When that happens, some of us think it is a coincidence. Some of us say that we knew it was going to happen. Well, all of this comes because we have already experienced it in our inner reality. Now that we have experienced it within us, we develop this knowing. This knowingness develops itself because of what we have identified ourselves with. This develops because of our self-concepts. If I identified myself as a party animal, my interaction at a party would be very different from that of someone who identified himself as an introvert. Now, I will tell you all a very simple thing. If you understand this thing, you will know why doubts arise and why we feel that it is impossible for us to get what we want. If you look at human beings, you will notice that humans are designed in such a manner that they are not able to see at night without any artificial source of light. Our visual apparatus doesn't allow us to see in the dark. This is why some people are scared of the dark, because they are scared of the unknown, as they cannot perceive physical reality. So when you are in the dark, it is certain that you cannot recognize things. If I blindfold you and make you walk a few steps and start telling you that you are standing on the edge of the terrace, your body will become terrified because it cannot see it. Your body knows that if you fall, you will get injured, or in the worst case, it will die. Now this fear arises due to the doubt, and this doubt arises due to the blindfold. Many of you are wearing these blindfolds, and many of you are living in the dark due to your identification with certain ideas. Your identification has blindfolded you, causing you to see yourself only in a certain way, like when blindfolded. All you can see is darkness. In the same manner, when you have identified yourself as something that is not in relation to your desired outcome, you are living in darkness, which is why doubts arise within you. Now can you see how your identity is both an advantage and a disadvantage? Your identity is an advantage when you want a certain outcome, but it becomes a disadvantage when it makes you experience that outcome. To witness another outcome, you have to shift your identity. So, how does this transformation occur? In the beginning of the video, I told you that I used to do a fun activity that helped me a lot with changing myself. So, that activity was talking to God. Since childhood, I have been raised with the idea that God is within us. So, I randomly used to talk to Him. I know it may sound stupid to some, but when you grasp it, you will know what it is about. So, it was not like I heard some other voice. It was my own voice playing both roles. For example, I might ask God, "Can I do that?" I would receive the answer, "Of course you can, you are capable," to some of these inquiries. But, for some, I would receive the answer that it is possible, but not for you. Further, when I reflected on it, I got to know that the things that matched my self-concept received a positive reply, and the things that were not related to my self-concept received a negative reply, a doubt, or a confusion. So, when a negative reply would come, I would further ask, "Why is it that?" And I would ask the questions and receive some replies about why I think it is not possible. As I grew up, I realized that the voice that was saying those replies was my own self-concept. If I wanted something that was not at all related to my self-concept, I would receive a negative reply. I would question it further and reach a point where I understood why it was saying so, and then I would ask God to change it for me. It is just like when we ask God to do things for us, hope arises within us. It's just self-talk. We all do it throughout the day. We all ask ourselves whether we can do it or not, whether we can have it or not. We must recognize that the self we are discussing is our concept of ourselves. Self-concept is a boundary that we have created, and when we present an idea that is beyond that boundary, we get a negative reply. So if you just want something, you have to break this boundary and move it a little further until what you want comes within that boundary. This can be achieved by talking with your new self. Frequently presenting new ideas to oneself. If you do it regularly, you make a shift. Like in my example, in the talk with God, I would question my doubts so that I reached a point that made it clear for me. And when it was clear, I would ask God to change it. And then I would become that God voice and say, yes, I can do it for you. And then I would say, so that means now I can have it. The God self would reply, of course you can. I have changed it for you. Now, all my conversations would be from that point. I used to refer to it as a talk with God because all things are possible with God. So this self-talk placed a seed within me, and that seed is the new idea that will grow into a tree if nurtured properly. And this nurturing will happen when you don't take out the seed but provide the necessary environment for it to grow. That necessary environment is based on the state of the wish fulfilled. Like when manifesting a relationship with a specific person, I would think in terms of where we would go on vacation on our first anniversary, and what we would do there. When I think about my first anniversary, it implies that I am already in a committed relationship. If I wasn't, the idea of a first anniversary wouldn't arise. You can do it too, just be creative. So, I hope you learned something useful from this. Subscribe because I post new videos regularly. I will meet you with another golden nugget. Happy manifesting.